this video is about. The single dad was fired for being late until his daughter saved the CEO's company. If this story touches your heart, please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. The sun barely peeked over the horizon, its timid rays struggling to breach the curtains of the small apartment shared by Leo Ramirez and his 7-year-old daughter, Mia. The scent of burnt toast wafted through the air, mingling with the faint smell of yesterday's spaghetti sauce that clung to the walls, a reminder of an all-too-frequent late-night meal. Leo, a single father, had grown accustomed to this daily dance of chaos, though lately it felt like the music had sped up, leaving him breathless. "Daddy, I can't find my backpack." Mia's voice was a shrill mix of panic and urgency, flinging Leo into action. He stumbled into the living room, his hair tousled and his shirt wrinkled from the hasty dressing. His heart raced, not just because of the morning's frantic energy, but also due to the gnawing worry about his job at Graytech Innovations. Being late again might mean more than just a talking to. It could cost him his position. "Check under the couch," he called, pushing a stray plate from the coffee table as he peered beneath the furniture. "You had it when we left the park yesterday." With a determined pout, Mia rummaged through the scattered toys, her small hands flinging aside a well-loved teddy bear and a half-finished puzzle. "I can't find it, Daddy. I need it for school." Leo's mind raced. The company's recent downsizing had left everyone on edge, especially him. He had been late 3 times in the past month, each time with a flimsy excuse about traffic or a delayed bus. Today, however, there was no room for excuses. "Okay, sweetheart, we'll find it together," he reassured her, his voice steady despite the storm brewing in his chest. He knelt beside her, searching under the cushions, the morning light catching the determination in his eyes. "Let's think this through. Where did you last remember seeing it?" Mia pressed her lips together, her brow furrowing in thought. "At the park. I left it on the slide when we were playing tag." "Right, the slide." Leo scrambled to his feet, glancing at the clock on the wall. "We can go back after school, it's not very far. But for now, we need to focus on getting you ready." As he hurried to assemble a breakfast that would resemble something nourishing, he felt the weight of his daughter's gaze on him. Mia had always been perceptive, a quality that often surprised him. She seemed to sense when he was stressed, her tiny body radiating an unusual calm as she quietly brushed her hair. "Daddy, do you like your job?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper as Leo poured cereal into a bowl. "Heck yeah, I love it. I work on cool stuff like making better computers," he said, trying to infuse enthusiasm into his words. The truth was much more complicated. The thrill of innovation felt distant amidst the mounting pressure. "Then why do you look sad?" Mia pressed, her big brown eyes seeking answers that Leo wasn't ready to share. He sighed, dropping the spoon and letting the clattering sound fill the silence. "I guess I worry sometimes. You know how it is. Grown-ups have a lot on their plates." Mia nodded, her expression serious beyond her years. "You shouldn't worry, Daddy. You always say that if you try your best, good things will happen." "Yeah, I do say that," he admitted, forcing a smile. He picked up the spoon again, his heart warmed by her innocence. "You're right. Let's just focus on today, all right." After a quick breakfast, they rushed to the door, Leo insisting on checking the time on his phone. His heart sank. They were already running late. "I'll drop you off at school, and then I'll head to work. We'll figure out the backpack later, I promise," he said as he ushered her down the stairs of their building. "Okay, but only if you can finish your project," Mia noted with her hands on her hips, a miniature guardian with a fierce expression. "Absolutely," he replied, his voice dripping with optimism he didn't completely feel. "I'll work extra hard today." As he buckled her into the backseat of their old hatchback, the engine sputtered to life, and he glanced at Mia in the rearview mirror. "You're my best cheerleader, you know that." "Yup, go daddy, go." She cheered, her little fists pumping in encouragement as they drove through the familiar streets. Little did Leo know that the universe had its own plans for the day. As they approached the school, a flash of sunlight glinted off the windshield, causing him to squint. He blinked rapidly, trying to refocus his mind on the task at hand. The school building loomed ahead, and Mia's excitement pierced through his inner turmoil. "Daddy, I can see my friends," she squealed, already unbuckling her seatbelt in anticipation. "All right, just remember, we'll go find that backpack later," he reminded her, glancing anxiously at the time. "Okay, love you," she called, jumping out of the car and running toward the entrance, her pigtails bouncing with each step. "Love you too," he shouted back, his heart swelling with pride as he watched her go. Once back on the road, Leo's anxiety returned, manifesting as a tight knot in his stomach. He wouldn't just be late today. He would be late for a crucial presentation that could seal his fate at Graytech. As he sat at a red light, the minutes seeming to stretch like elastic, he mentally rehearsed everything he needed to say to his boss, Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter was known for being a hard-nosed businessman, a man whose glare could wilt the most optimistic of employees. Leo had been working on a groundbreaking new software project that he hoped would impress the CEO enough to secure his job. But if he arrived late, all that hard work might go unnoticed. Finally, the light turned green and he pressed the gas, navigating through traffic with agility. Panic surged anew as he glanced at the clock. He was going to be late, and the weight of that thought made his hands tremble against the steering wheel. When he finally parked in the lot and rushed inside the office, he was greeted by the stony silence of the reception area. The tension was palpable. He could feel the eyes of his colleagues following him, their whispers a distant buzz in his ears. "Leo," his coworker Tom greeted, his voice low and cautious. "You're late." I know. I'm just," Leo began, but Tom raised a hand, cutting him off. "Mr. Carter's in a meeting. You might want to wait until it's over." "Wait, a meeting? I can't wait." "Leo." The calm tone of the receptionist, Clara, cut through his rising panic. "You should really sit down, just give it a moment." Leo's heart raced as he sank into a chair, his fingers tapping anxiously against his knees. Time seemed to stretch like taffy, each second pulling further away into the realm of uncertainty. He closed his eyes, trying to breathe through the anxiety that threatened to suffocate him. All he could think about was Mia, innocently waiting for him to come through for her, just as he had promised. If he lost his job, what would happen to them? The office door swung open, and Mr. Carter emerged, his features carved from stone, eyes locked ahead as he walked past. Leo's stomach dropped as he felt the weight of the CEO's disapproval before even exchanging words. As the door closed with a definitive thud, he steeled himself for the inevitable. "Get ready, Leo," Tom muttered, his voice a whisper of sympathy. But before Leo could take a deep breath, a commotion erupted from the hallway. A shrill voice broke through the polished veneer of the office, electrifying the air around them. "Mr. Carter, wait." The sound of hurried footsteps echoed, and Leo turned to see a little figure barreling toward them, golden sunlight illuminating the wild curls atop her head. It was Mia, her cheeks flushed and her expression fierce, determination written all over her tiny face as she raced toward the big man who had just stormed out. "Daddy, I forgot my backpack," she exclaimed, skidding to a stop in front of Leo, oblivious to the tense atmosphere. Leo's heart pounded in disbelief. "Mia, what are you doing here?" Before he could react, she turned her innocent eyes to Mr. Carter, who was standing with a perplexed expression, both intrigued and taken aback. "Mr. Carter, I need to tell you something." The room fell silent. Every gaze trained on the little girl whose presence had shattered the impending disaster hanging over Leo's head. Mia, Leo started, trying to reach for her, but she was already focused on the CEO, who was looking at her with curiosity. Daddy loves his job a lot, and he's the best at making computers. You should give him a chance to show you. Leo's heart raced with a mix of pride and panic. There stood his daughter, all 7 years of her fierce spirit radiating like sunlight, unbothered by the weight of corporate tension surrounding them. Mia, he whispered, urgency threading through his voice. You shouldn't be here. We talked about going to the park later. But Mia was undeterred. But Daddy, you've been working so hard, and I know you can make great things. Mr. Carter needs to see that. Her small fists were clenched at her sides, her resolve akin to that of a knight ready to defend her castle. Tension hung in the air, thick enough to cut with a knife as Mr. Carter studied the little girl before him. A momentary flicker of something, amusement, curiosity, danced behind his stern facade. The other employees, who had been caught off guard by this unexpected intrusion, shifted in their seats. Leo's chest tightened. He couldn't decide whether to be embarrassed or endlessly grateful for Mia's tenacity. Mr. Carter, Leo said, his voice steadying despite the fluttering in his gut. This is my daughter, Mia. She's just a little lost. He bent down, gently placing a hand on Mia's shoulder. Sweetheart, why don't we go back to the car? We can talk about this later. But Mia was on a roll, her 7-year-old heart unyielding in its mission. No, Daddy, I can help you. I just learned about how computers work in school. I can tell him about the cool things you do. The CEO raised an eyebrow, crossing his arms. Oh, you learned about computers. What exactly do you know? Mia stood a little taller, her confidence swelling with each word. We learned how they help people talk to each other and how they can even make games. Daddy made a game that uses feelings to help people. She turned to Leo with wide eyes, as if she had just discovered the secret to the universe. Right, Daddy. Leo blinked, caught between disbelief and admiration. His project was indeed designed to help users connect emotionally through their interactions with the digital world, but he had never explained it in such simple terms. Yes, exactly, he said, somewhat dazed. A game that helps people understand each other better. Can I try it? Mia interrupted, bouncing on her heels. I could show you how it works. Calm down a minute, Mia. Leo chuckled softly, feeling a warmth bloom in his chest. Let's not overwhelm Mr. Carter here. He glanced up at the CEO, who now looked genuinely intrigued. You've piqued my interest, young lady, Mr. Carter said, the corners of his mouth twitching slightly. Tell me more about this game of your father's. How does it make people understand each other? Mia's eyes sparkled as she began to explain, her little fingers gesturing animatedly. Well, you pick a character, and you can choose different feelings like happy or sad. Then you see how the character feels when something happens, like when they lose a toy or when they get a surprise. Leo watched, transfixed, as his daughter spoke with a passion that filled the air around them. He could almost see the gears turning in Mr. Carter's mind, the icy exterior beginning to thaw as he listened to Mia explain the game's concept. She had a gift for storytelling, just like her mother, and for a moment, Leo felt a wave of nostalgia wash over him. That sounds impressive, Mia, Mr. Carter said, nodding slowly. A game that teaches empathy, that's quite the concept. Daddy says it's important to feel things, and that helps us be nice to each other. Mia declared, her little hands animated in the air. Mr. Carter's gaze shifted to Leo, who felt the weight of his boss's scrutiny. And your father has been working on this project. Yes, Leo replied, trying to keep his voice steady, though his heartbeat hammered in his ears. I believe it. Believing isn't enough in this world, Leo, Mr. Carter interrupted, his tone firm. You have to show it, prove it to me. The words hit Leo like a punch to the gut, the tension in the room thickening. He had poured everything into this project, but it still felt like something was missing, something he had failed to articulate in the rush of deadlines and corporate pressure. Mia, however, seemed oblivious to the underlying currents of disappointment. She was still caught up in her own excitement. "Can I help him, Mr. Carter? I can be like the test player." Test player? His brow arched. Mr. Carter's interest appeared piqued once again. "And what would that entail, Mia?" "I'd play the game and tell everyone how I feel. I'm really good at feelings," she declared with the bravado only a child could muster. Leo couldn't help but laugh, imagining the scene. "You'd be a fantastic test player, sweetheart," he said, pride swelling in his chest. "Then it's settled," Mr. Carter said, a ghost of a smile forming on his lips. "We'll set up a demo. Leo, I want you to bring your project to the next meeting. If it's as good as your daughter says, I'll make sure it gets the attention it deserves." "Wait, what?" Leo's mind struggled to process the rapid shift as disbelief washed over him. "You mean I can present it?" "Yes, but only if you're ready to show me its full potential." "No excuses this time," Mr. Carter replied, his tone taking a more serious edge. "Of course I will," Leo stammered, feeling a rush of relief and excitement. "I'll make sure it's ready." Mia clapped her hands, jumping up and down. "See, Daddy, I told you, you just needed me." Leo couldn't help but smile at her exuberance. "Yes, you did, Princess. I guess you're my good luck charm." The room's atmosphere felt lighter now, the tension dissipating like morning mist. Employees exchanged glances, the ripple of Mia's unexpected intervention spreading through the office, a refreshing reminder of the human spirit amidst the corporate hustle. "Can I stay for the demo, Daddy?" Mia asked, her eyes alight with anticipation. "Absolutely," Leo replied, glancing at Mr. Carter, who nodded in approval. "But first, we should get you back to school." Mia's face fell slightly. "But I want to see you do the big presentation." "I know, but you'll be my best cheerleader when I do it. I promise." "Okay, but don't be too long," she admonished, her small hands on her hips again, a determined look plastered on her face. "I'll be quick, plus how else will I know what to show you?" he teased. Mr. Carter cleared his throat, the moment of levity settling over the room like a warm blanket. "You've got a little firecracker on your hands, Leo. Best of luck. I'll see you both at the demo. I'm looking forward to it." "Thank you, Mr. Carter," Leo said, feeling a new sense of hope blossom within him. As they made their way back to the elevator, Mia was practically bouncing on her feet. "You're going to be the best, Daddy. I can't wait to see everyone's faces." Leo chuckled and ruffled her hair. "Me too, kiddo, me too." Once they reached the lobby, Leo knelt to her level, taking her hands in his. "Mia, thank you for standing up for me. I don't know what I would have done without you." Her face beamed with pride, and she wrapped her arms around him in a tight embrace. "You'll always have me, Daddy. I'm your secret weapon." "Yes, you are," Leo said, holding her close. In that moment, he felt a sense of clarity and purpose wash over him. Perhaps it was true, sometimes the simplest voices held the loudest power. As they stepped outside into the sunlit day, Leo's heart swelled with gratitude. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he knew he wasn't facing them alone. He had Mia, his little fighter, and together they would navigate the unpredictable tides of life, one step at a time. The soft morning light poured through the open windows of the small apartment, illuminating the remnants of yesterday's chaos. Leo Ramirez stood at the kitchen island, his fingers gripping the edge, feeling it groan under the weight of his uncertainties. He was lost in thought, reliving the unexpected turn of events from earlier that day. Mia's triumphant declaration to Mr. Carter still echoed in his mind, the image of her fierce little face igniting a renewed sense of determination. "Daddy, Mia's voice broke through his reverie, her head peeking around the corner from the living room. She was dressed in her school uniform, her pigtails bouncing with each step as she approached him. "Are you okay?" Leo turned to her, forcing a smile to mask his lingering tension. "I'm great, just thinking about how to make that game even better for tomorrow. Did you tell Mr. Carter about the new levels you added? The ones where it shows how to feel happy when you see someone sad?" She asked, her eyes wide with enthusiasm. He knelt down to her level, brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "I didn't get a chance yet. I'll definitely show him that tomorrow. You were amazing today, you know that." Mia beamed, her cheeks flushed with pride. "I told you I could help. Can I play it tonight? I want to show you how I'd feel if I was the sad character." "Sure," Leo chuckled, ruffling her hair. "But first, let's get you ready for school." They carried on with their routine, the morning rush taking on a new rhythm as Leo found himself buoyed by the excitement of their plans. For the first time in weeks, he felt the weight pressing against his chest ease just a little. As they walked to school, hand in hand, Leo stole glances at Mia, her carefree laughter ringing in the air like music. "Daddy, do you think Mr. Carter is super busy this time?" she asked, her face tilting up toward the sky. "He's a busy guy, that's for sure," Leo replied, a soft chuckle escaping his lips. "But I think he'll make time for us, especially after today. Because I'm his best friend now?" she asked, her brown eyes sparkling. "Exactly. You might just be the best thing that ever happened to that company," Leo said, believing every word. When they reached the school, the familiar sight of children racing towards the entrance filled him with warmth. Mia's friends waved at her, their faces lit up with playful energy. "See you later, Daddy," she called, dashing toward the playground. "See you later, kiddo." Leo waved back, feeling a twinge of sadness wash over him as he watched her blend into the crowd. He lingered for a moment, allowing the scene of little legs running and laughter ringing to settle in his heart. As he made his way back to his car, the nervous excitement returned. Tomorrow would be the day. He needed to get everything just right for the demo. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him again, but this time it felt different. Instead of overwhelming him, it pushed him forward. "All right, let's do this," he muttered to himself, climbing into the car. The engine sputtered and he took a deep breath, turning the key in the ignition. One step at a time. Back at the office, the atmosphere was charged. Employees rushed around, their faces lined with anticipation and anxiety. Leo braced himself as he entered, greeted by nods and understanding glances, some filled with envy for the sudden attention Mia had drawn from Mr. Carter. "Hey, Leo," Tom said, catching him by the elbow. "I didn't know your daughter had it in her to charm the boss like that. It's impressive." "Yeah, she's something else, isn't she?" Leo replied, a smile creeping onto his face at the thought of Mia's exuberance. He was still riding the high of her support, but the reality of the project loomed heavily in the background. "Are you ready for tomorrow?" Tom asked, leaning closer, his voice low. "I think so. I just need to polish a few things up," Leo said, running a hand through his hair. "But honestly, I'm a little nervous." "Hey, you've got this. If you can handle being a single dad and working full-time, a presentation should be a piece of cake," Tom encouraged, patting him on the back. "Just remember what Mia said. Show them the heart of your project." Leo nodded, feeling the weight of Tom's words. "Thanks, man. I just hope it resonates with Mr. Carter." As Leo settled into his workspace, he pulled up the project files, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. With Mia's voice ringing in his ears, he dived into the details, working tirelessly to integrate her suggestions and refine the presentation. Hours passed, punctuated only by the occasional ping of notifications and the distant chatter of coworkers. By the time evening rolled around, Leo had transformed the project, adding layers of emotional connectivity that Mia had unknowingly inspired. Each click of the keyboard felt like stepping closer to something monumental. When the clock struck 5, he realized he had lost track of time. He quickly packed up his things, his mind racing with thoughts of the next day. As he walked to the elevator, he couldn't shake the feeling of excitement and dread mingling at the back of his mind. "Mia," he called out when he arrived home, eager to share the news of his progress. "You won't believe what I did today." She bounded into the living room, her face lighting up upon seeing him. "Did you practice? Did you make it better?" "I did. I added the new levels we talked about. The ones where players can choose their feelings," he said, his own excitement bubbling over. "And I thought of more scenarios that show how to empathize with others." "Wow, can I play it now? I want to be the sad character," she insisted, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. "Absolutely, but how about we eat dinner first and then I'll show you?" Leo suggested, glancing toward the kitchen. "Okay," Mia nodded eagerly, her energy infectious. "I can help cook." They spent the next half hour preparing dinner together, laughter weaving through the air as they danced around the small kitchen. Leo felt grateful for these moments, how they filled the gaps left by worry and uncertainty. After dinner, they settled in front of the computer, and Leo loaded the game. Mia's eyes widened in anticipation as the colorful graphics sprang to life. "I'll be the sad character first," she declared, her little hands gripping the mouse. "All right, let's see how it goes," Leo said, watching her with pride. As she clicked through the game, her reactions provided valuable feedback. "When the toy breaks, I feel really sad. But when the character finds a friend, I feel happy." "Exactly. That's exactly what I want people to feel. How emotions affect our connections with others," Leo explained, his heart swelling with joy to see her understanding the essence of his work. "You're giving me such great ideas." Mia grinned, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "Can I tell you what else we can add? What if we put in a part where they can help the sad character feel better?" "That's brilliant. A way to show how friends can support one another even when they feel down," Leo said, marveling at her insight. As they brainstormed, he realized that Mia's perspective was invaluable. Not only was she a child with innocent wisdom, but she also had a way of viewing the world that could breathe life into his project. "I can't wait to show Mr. Carter this," Leo said, feeling the weight of the world begin to lift. "Me too. We can be a team just like superheroes," Mia exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. "Absolutely, little superhero," Leo replied, pulling her into a warm hug. "Together, we can do anything." The night drifted away, filled with laughter and planning, Leo's heart swelling with pride for his daughter and their bond. Every moment solidified the truth he had fought to believe. Even amidst struggles, family and love forged a path through the chaos, giving him the strength to chase his dreams. The next morning came early, the sun breaking through the window like a promise of new beginnings. Leo felt more prepared than ever as he and Mia reviewed their plans over breakfast. "Okay, Daddy, remember what I said. Show them how feelings matter," Mia said, her wide eyes filled with serious intent. "I will, kiddo," he promised, his heart fluttering with hope. As he dropped her off at school, the energy buzzing between them felt electric. "You ready to rock this?" Leo asked, grinning. "Yes, and remember, I'm your secret weapon," she replied, her small fists pumping in determination. "Always," he whispered, leaning down to kiss her forehead before watching her run toward the entrance, her confidence a bright beacon. With a deep breath, Leo turned back toward his car, focused and determined. Today was not just about him. It was about them, their dreams intertwined. With Mia's spirit propelling him forward, he felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As he drove back to the office, Leo's mind whirled with possibilities. The city bustled around him, cars darting like schools of fish in a current of urgency. He took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of fresh coffee wafting from a nearby cafe, grounding himself in the present moment. Today wasn't just any day, it was pivotal. After months of hard work, of sleepless nights and anxiety, he was finally ready to present his project to Mr. Carter, and he wasn't going to face it alone. Just think what Mia would say, he muttered to himself, reflecting on her unwavering belief in him. Feelings matter. The words echoed in his thoughts, a mantra that brought him a sense of clarity. In that moment, he realized that his daughter's innocent wisdom had shifted his perspective entirely. Instead of merely showcasing a product, he was about to share a piece of his heart, a bridge to understanding emotions through technology. Pulling into the parking lot, he noticed the usual crowd of employees bustling toward the entrance. Their chatter buzzed around him, but Leo felt oddly insulated from the noise, as if he were encased in a bubble of purpose. He climbed out of his car, smoothing down his shirt and taking a moment to square his shoulders. Today, he would not let anxiety hold him back. "Hey, Leo," Tom called out as they crossed paths in the lobby. He had a look of eager anticipation on his face, ready for the big show. "Getting there," Leo replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "Just putting the finishing touches on everything. How's the vibe in there?" Tom shrugged, his eyes flickering toward the conference room at the end of the hall. "Mixed. Carter seems to be in a good mood, but you know how fast that can change. Just focus on your message." "Thanks, I will," Leo nodded, taking a deep breath as he walked toward his workstation. He sat down, staring at the monitor displaying the familiar interface of his project, a stark contrast to the nervous energy coursing through him. Instead of diving back into the code, he pulled out a notepad. He scribbled down Mia's ideas, her thoughts on how to enhance the game experience. "What if the sad character has a friend?" he wrote, underlining it twice. "Show how friends help each other." In that moment, he realized that Mia's insights were the heart of the project. He had been so focused on the technical aspects that he had almost overlooked the emotional thread that could bind users to the game. He quickly jotted down a few more notes, referencing how players could earn empathy points by making choices that positively affected the character's emotions. After a few intense minutes, Leo felt a surge of adrenaline. He was ready to showcase the best version of his project. As he stood up, he glanced at the clock. Time was slipping away. "Okay, showtime," he murmured, steeling himself as he walked to the conference room. Inside, the atmosphere pulsed with anticipation. A handful of employees occupied the chairs, their expressions a mix of curiosity and caution. At the head of the table sat Mr. Carter, his eyes fixing on Leo, with an intensity that made the air feel charged. "Thanks for coming, everyone," Leo began, his voice slightly wobbly. He cleared his throat, focusing on the supportive faces around him. "Today, I'm excited to share a project I've been working on, a game designed to help people understand and express their emotions." Mr. Carter raised an eyebrow but remained silent, his expression inscrutable. Leo launched into the presentation, navigating the slides with a blend of nerves and newfound confidence. He highlighted the key features of the game, describing how players would embody various characters, each facing different emotional challenges. As he spoke, he could feel the energy in the room shift. Employees leaned in, intrigued. "And what makes this project unique," Leo continued, "is that it encourages empathy through gameplay. It's not just about entertainment, it's about connecting with others." He glanced at Mr. Carter, who watched intently. The CEO remained silent, but Leo noticed a flicker of interest in his eyes. Encouraged, he pressed on, detailing how the game could be used in educational settings, therapy, and even as a tool in workplaces to foster better relationships among colleagues. As he concluded, he hesitated, feeling a surge of energy behind his words. I truly believe this project can make a difference. It's not just a game, it's a way for people to connect. It's about understanding that emotions are universal and that we all experience them. A beat of silence hung in the air, the room still as everyone absorbed his words. Then, Mr. Carter leaned forward, his expression shifting from skepticism to curiosity. "Leo, I have to ask, what inspired you to create something like this?" Leo felt a swell of pride as he recalled his daughter's unwavering support. "Well, honestly, it's my daughter. She reminded me that feelings matter. She's the one who encouraged me to think about how we can help others through our work, and that's what I wanted to reflect in this game." A ripple of surprise passed through the room, and Leo felt a rush of warmth from his colleagues. It was a vulnerable moment, but sharing that truth felt liberating. Mr. Carter nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. "You're saying that the key to this game is empathy, rooted in personal experience." "Yes," Leo affirmed, his heart racing. "I believe that if we can teach people to recognize and manage their emotions, we can foster stronger connections. That's what we need in today's world." "Very well put," Mr. Carter replied. "I see potential here, but I want you to add more layers to the project. I need to know it can reach a broader audience." Leo felt a wave of relief wash over him, but his determination surged. "Absolutely, I'll dive back into it. I want to make it the best it can be." "Good," Mr. Carter said with a nod. "Let's set up a follow-up meeting in a month. I want to see the progress you've made." Just like that, the atmosphere shifted from tension to excitement, the team buzzing with ideas about how they could collaborate on the project. As they discussed the next steps, Leo felt a smile creep onto his face. He was filled with a sense of accomplishment and purpose, a feeling he hadn't experienced in what felt like ages. "Leo," Tom said, nudging him, "you smashed it, man. I knew you had it in you." "Thanks, Tom," Leo chuckled, still buzzing from the adrenaline. "I couldn't have done it without Mia." "Your secret weapon," Tom grinned, raising his coffee cup in a mock toast. "To you and your little superhero." After the meeting, as Leo packed up his things, he felt lighter, more hopeful. The day had transformed from a source of dread to a celebration of potential. He couldn't wait to share the news with Mia. On his drive home, he replayed the day's events in his mind, a smile spreading across his face with every memory. He could almost hear Mia's laughter, feel her little hands on his shoulders as she cheered him on. When he arrived home, he found Mia curled up on the couch, a half-finished drawing spread out before her. Her concentration was palpable, her little tongue peeking out in concentration. "Hey, superhero," Leo greeted, walking over with an exaggerated swagger. "You won't believe what happened today." Mia looked up, her eyes wide with curiosity. "What? Did you show Mr. Carter the game?" "Sure did, and guess what? He was impressed. He wants to see more of it." Leo's excitement bubbled over. "What? That's amazing." Mia jumped up from her seat, her drawing forgotten. "Did you tell him about the sad character?" "I did, and he loved it. We're going to work on it even more together," Leo said, beaming with pride. "And I made sure to mention how you're my secret weapon." Mia clapped her hands, her joy infectious. "See, I told you we're a team." "Absolutely," Leo agreed, pulling her into a hug. "I couldn't have done it without you. How about we work on it together tonight? Can we put in the part where the sad character gets a hug from a friend?" she asked, her eyes sparkling. "Yes, that's perfect," he replied, feeling a rush of warmth. They settled down at the table, ideas flowing as they began to sketch out how they could enhance the game. As the evening unfolded, laughter filled the apartment, the walls echoing with their shared dreams. Together, they were creating something beautiful, an expression not just of technology, but of their bond as father and daughter. In that moment, Leo realized that the journey ahead wouldn't just be about the game. It would be about nurturing their connection, facing life's challenges together, and celebrating the magic of emotions that, like the characters in his project, could bring people closer together.